Okay, well, I think we had a pretty good special teams outing. Anytime that you block a punt or a kick, that is really impressive. And I think Doug just told me that DJ got named Special Teams Player of the Week for the Mountain West, so that's awesome. But kickoff coverage has been solid all year, and they did once again really well against Colorado State. They had a good returner. Punt-wise, we were out there probably way too much, and there were a couple hang tens that we wish we could have executed a little better. But for the most part, I think we punted the ball well. We covered really well again. Our coverage has been great all year. And once again, Dom was able to do his thing, stay perfect, and special teams-wise, I think we had a pretty solid outing again.
As you look at as the game went along into the second half, their field position was less good because your kicks were going to the right places, or so. Did you sense that as you went along?
Yeah, we did a good job in the second half. I think it was the second half that we got that one hang 10 down at the 4-yard line, and there was another that they fair caught on the 10. So obviously we have a big chart in the team room that shows the percentages of scoring, how they go greatly down when you're able to put them inside the 20 and inside the 10. So yeah, it was a really great effort by the gunners and the coverage team to make them fair catch and get down and cover the ball, and that obviously makes a great impact on the game for our defense, giving them a long field to work with.
Frankly, I think the special teams play has been good all year. The only thing that's really been lacking is maybe explosive returns in the kickoff and punt return game. But I mean, how motivated were you guys going into the season? Because there've been a few struggles in the last couple of years. So how motivated were you guys to shore things up in special teams?
Yeah, so definitely last year overall special teams wasn't as good as we would like to be, especially having a bunch of guys with experience coming back. So I think just from the start back in January, whether it was in the weight room or spring ball, just really focusing on our craft and what we can do to get better to have a different result and preparing then so we can be successful now. I think everyone really just wanted to come out and do their best and do what they know that we can do, and it's paid off. It was good to get Coach Tommerdahl, a fresh new face in there, and maybe some new schemes, and it's been really good.
How do you describe how he's handled it and things are better?
So Coach Tommerdahl, I think, does a couple really good things. He does a really good job at displaying what he wants us to do, and the guys on special teams the techniques they need to use, and he's also does a great job at motivating players. I think everyone goes out and they respect him and they want to go out and play to their best of their ability and do their best for him. And he has obviously been doing it for a really long time, and he respects us as players, and in turn we respect him as a special teams coordinator and know that he's going to put us in the right positions to be successful. So I think he's done a good job in that.
Aaron, I've noticed at least a couple of games this year you've gotten a ton of hang time on your punts, just really nice booming punts. How much confidence have you gained as the season has progressed?
Yeah, it's always good to hang it up there and try and make it easier for the coverage team. But just after we hit the first punt, I always talk to Emmett. Once you get the first one out of the way, it's all easy from then on. But I guess after we hit that, we had I think it was a 50-yarder against Wisconsin to start off, and once you play at Wisconsin with 80,000, 90,000 people, whoever were there, it's all just routine. You gotta just trust your craft and your technique and go out and react.
What makes it the first one the toughest? What do you mean?
Just because it starts today. I'm spending all week preparing for the game and what I can do to go out there and impact the game. And so I've got 6 days on my conscience of preparing for that first punt. And once that first one gets out of the way, then it's all downhill from there.
As a punter, when you prepare for the next week's game, what do you look for on film, and how do you prepare different than some of the offensive or defensive players?
Yeah, so we watch film. We watch the blocking scheme and whether they're going to pressure and if they have a showtime returner. If we need to try and put the ball out of bounds, but mainly I try and focus on myself and my technique and what I can do to fix the mistakes that I had. So maybe not a whole lot on what they're doing. Really focus on just my craft and either whether it's my drop, my steps, my swing. The different types of punts we do, focus on what I can do to be more consistent.
Is it normal to change personnel week to week on units, or is that rare? They stay pretty consistently?
I think in special teams it's really a next man up mentality because we're halfway through the season and people go down injuries and maybe someone needs to get subbed out because they're taking a lot of snaps on offense and defense. So I think it's probably pretty normal for new guys to have to step up, step in, and take on a new role and be ready to go.
So you're fourth in the conference. Right now, do you feel like you're playing your best?
I feel like I've had a good season. There's obviously plenty of room to improve. I don't think I've graded out 100% yet, so I definitely think we can get better. I didn't know that we were fourth. I try not to look at that kind of stuff. I really just like to focus on the net average because that's the team goal. That's the coverage. That's my gunners making plays and stuff. But there's room for improvement. But I think we've done a good job consistently all year long and trying to flip the field and give the defense a long field to work with.
Have you been surprised at how often they've been able to get their hands on the punt and be able to block punts against the other teams, or have you just seen that in practice where they've gotten on yours?
Yeah, I think I saw something just the other day that said that Utah State was leading the country with 4, and then Florida State has 2, and then there's everyone else tied for third with only 1. So, it's definitely. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, and I think it's just a testament to Coach Tomerdahl and his schemes and guys trying to go out there and make plays and get something done. So yeah, definitely impressive.
So is there a net average? Do you have a goal?
Yeah, so our team goal every week is to try and get 38 yards net average to try and flip the field. And like I said, we didn't try not to look at number goals, just try and make an impact on the game and flip the field.
So the last time Wyoming came here to USU, you didn't do much.
Yeah, that's right. And it was in the fourth quarter or something, and it was a cold game too. Yeah, I remember I was sitting there waiting to go, and we were fortunate. It's a great thing when I never go out there, so I hope I don't have to go out there again, but if I do, be ready.
All right, first of all, I'd just like to give credit to that Colorado State football team. That was a good team we played. They had some good athletes, some good skill players. On the contrary to that, I feel like us as a defense, when we do the things that we've been taught to do and we execute the way we're supposed to, we're hard to stop. The plays that they did explode, it was kids or players on our team that didn't execute our game plan, and that's what happened. That's why we got gashed. But when we do what we're supposed to, we're a hard team to stop, and our defense is really good. So the Wyoming team, they got a great quarterback, number 17, first round pick coming up here in the NFL draft, and just like this week, we're gonna have to get in his face a little bit and kind of disrupt his pass game if we want to see the outcome that we desire. Blocking wise, they run a lot of stretch and a lot of power. Nothing we haven't seen and nothing we can't stop. So.
Wyoming, they lost Brian Hill. Their running game hasn't been nearly as explosive this year. So do you think you have a better chance of getting to the quarterback? Colorado State has 2 really good running backs, and they're different kinds of running backs. So how much better of a chance do you feel like you have focusing on getting to Allen this week?
Yeah. As we watch film, we notice that they do lots of play-action pass, so it's going to be up to us on the D-line to notice when that pass is coming. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can tell, and we're going to have to get to him and disrupt his pass game because he can put it where he wants. So we're gonna have to get in his face and disrupt that. So.
Have you seen film of him yet today?
Mhm. Yeah, so we met this morning, and over the weekend we've been watching film and prepping. So
He was one of their leading rushers a year ago. He
Mhm.
doesn't have any rushing yards now. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
I mean, obviously he had a pretty good running back last year, and I feel like lots of people keyed on him. So they'd bite on his runs, and he was able to pull on those zone reads and get the DNs to bite, or whoever is the outside linebacker. So I credit to that. So.
His numbers aren't like a first-round draft choice after how many games they played. They're fine. He's got 6 touchdown passes in how many games? So, can you see anything different about him?
I mean, we're gonna treat him just like how he's portrayed. He's a good athlete. I mean, you look at him; he's a good-looking quarterback, and we're just gonna have to do what we do. And if we do what we do, we're gonna win the game.
Jacoby, I mean, how similar do you think Wyoming is in terms of this team, this Utah State team, in terms of being a little bit up and down and trying to shore up that identity?
I feel like Wyoming's a very blue-collar program, just like us. I feel like we work very hard, both programs, and I feel like it's up and down. It just depends on the year, and if you show up to play that week, I feel like the Mountain West is depends on the week. It can go both ways, whoever wins the game, and whoever shows up to play is going to win. And if you make plays, it's going to affect the ball game. So,
Are there stories from the Wildman family Aggie tradition?
yeah. So my uncle Dennis, he played here, I think in '86. He was the honorary captain, I believe, the last game, and he's told me lots of stories, and I have lots of family that went here, so the Aggie blood is thick in me. So,
How much do you believe of what he told you?
that's a really good question. He tells me lots of things, and I mean, I believe him. He's a good player. I've seen some plays of him, and good guy, good player, good uncle.
And honestly, Jacoby, as frustrating as that first quarter was, first maybe quarter and 5 minutes of the second quarter, you guys have to be pretty pleased with the resiliency and the desire you guys showed on defense the rest of that game. How much can you build on that heading into this week?
I mean, you take out that first quarter, we came out very flat, I would say, and allowed some big plays to happen, and that's on us leaders and us captains, and we got to get that right. But if we play like we did in the second half, I mean, we allowed, I think, 3 points, and if we play like that and execute, like I said before, this defense is built to shut down the run and get pressure on the QB. So we can do it if we execute.
You guys talk about keeping the quarterback off schedule or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Early on, he wasn't off schedule.
yeah.
How did you feel like that changed?
Yeah, I feel like we got there. I mean, they were running lots of play action pass, and sometimes it's hard to read that, but we got to get better at that and transitioning to the pass rush. That's something we've been working on a lot the past couple weeks, and it's something we need to continue to work on. And if we want to get the win this week, we're going to have to disrupt him in that aspect of the game. So.
Jacoby, can you talk about all the players on the team from Cache Valley? There's 11 players from the Valley on the team. A lot of those guys, including yourself, are major players, big contributions. Just talk about that group and the success that they've been able to have.
It's funny. I was actually talking with my dad about this yesterday. I grew up with all these guys, and I played on teams with Derek Larson and DJ all growing up in high school, and I love them to death, and they all have a competitive will and desire that I don't see much in a lot of other people. And I don't know if that's just me being biased, but I love them to death, and they're great players. And I feel like we pride ourselves in work ethic. We give it our all, whether it's effort, run into the ball, and you can always count on a Logan boy to do that. So.
What did the win over BYU mean to that group of kids?
I mean, I've grown up watching the Utah State BYU, all the rivalry games, and that's something big. And like Coach Wells said, that's something that'll never be taken away from us as a football program. And it gave us a lot of stamina and a lot of mojo to build off of, and we still have that, and we're gonna keep bringing it every week. So.
Well, just with Colorado State game, and we can start there. Congratulations to them. They're a good team. I thought, had a really good week of practice, and we came out and we didn't play very good in the first quarter and a half. And, it's something that we haven't done in the last couple weeks. I don't really have the magic answer for you. It was both sides of the ball. And we didn't play well. They took advantage of it. And then really for about, I guess, the second half and a half of the first quarter, I thought it was a tough ball game. It was back and forth, and I thought it was fairly even for the most part, but we weren't good enough, or we didn't take advantage of any opportunities on offense to make up that many points that quick. And so we spotted them too much, and good team in this league, you can't do that. And so that's what good teams do. They find a way to get ahead. And if it's that kind of game, and then they just basically, we traded punches the rest of the way. And so that's kind of how the game went. There were a few good things in the game. I thought, first of all, when you don't play that well on offense, your punter has a lot of opportunities. Aaron Dalton, I thought, played excellent. He has all year. 3 punts inside the 20. And I thought he hit some punts against the wind, and that maybe didn't flip the field, but it sure could have been a disaster had he not punted it well into the wind. And then he had some with the wind that had unbelievable hang times, just basically negating a really good punt returner. I thought Dax Raymond played extremely well, and he has for a while. He's catching the ball well. He's blocking well. He's tough. He's physical inside. Rob Castaneda went out and played right tackle for the first time all year. I thought Rob played well. Demetric came in and played full-time at right guard, and I thought really those two guys played good enough for us to win. And then I think defensively, Jacoby Wildman played well. Gage Ferguson, Sully, and then Jalen and Dallin at times I thought showed who they are. But really it was onslaught right out of the gate by them, and we couldn't make it up, and we lost in terms of that. So now we I think the big thing is to learn from it, and we got to get off the mat and show a bunch of resiliency and grit, and to bounce back and to not get into not lose 2 in a row. And that's the challenge this week, is to play well against a good Wyoming team, really good Wyoming team, and a team that is starting to really build this program. I have a lot of respect for Coach Bowl. And I remember saying this when he first got the job. The coach and the staff that they had gotten at Wyoming, I thought knew what they were doing. They were going to recruit and build to who their personalities were on offense and on defense, and they've certainly done that and had a really good year last year. Obviously won the division and represented the Mountainside in the championship game. And so this is a team that's, I think, really starting to build their program and their culture. They're a bunch of tough, hard-nosed guys on both sides of the ball, and I think the staff coaches them that way. And this program has a lot of respect for Wyoming. It's been a good rivalry at Utah State throughout the years. I know it's the 4th highest, most played rivalry, the Bridgers battle and for the rifle. And so I think that's a neat deal. And be a good game, and we look forward to it. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions.
So you mentioned a couple of guys on both sides of the interior lines just now. So was your initial reaction after the game, you were kind of critical of your line play on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I don't think we played well enough at either O-line or D-line. I don't take that back. We didn't play well enough to win the game in either phase. That wasn't the only phase, so let's not blow that out of proportion. We didn't play well enough in other spots. But that's when somebody asked me the direct question about that being the one thing, I said I thought we got beat in the trenches on both sides. Yeah, there were times we didn't defend in the back end as well. We didn't play well at quarterback at times. I didn't think, we had some drop balls, not many, but we had a few. So there was plenty of blame to spread around, but when you don't win in the trenches on either side, you're going to have a hard time winning in the Mountain West Conference.
As you said, you had that was Dimitrich's first start. So it was your first time playing with that set of offensive linemen.
No, it really wasn't, because we subbed Dimitrik in a lot. Dimitrich's played every game, so that's his first extended amount of time. Yeah.
Do you think they got more comfortable together as the game went along?
Comfortable to me means you're playing really well, and I didn't think we played well as a unit as an O-line. So, I pointed out I thought he played pretty good for the first start individually, and I think Rob Castaneda, for the first time moving out to right tackle, I thought he played well.
Can you talk about the offense and how you would evaluate through this point of the season?
Sure.
The changes that were made?
Sure. The changes being new offensive coordinator and new offensive scheme and system, yeah. So the question is where are we at, halfway point through the season? What I'd like to see is a little bit more consistency. I think we've either been really close to what we want and in rhythm and playing with a lot of continuity and getting the ball down the field and running it when we want to and being explosive, to the second half of the Wyoming game, to the whole Wake Forest game, to most of the game Saturday of not being very explosive, not having any continuity. If we could just go, medium or above medium, it'd be good in terms of that. But I think there's some games that we've looked really good and we've done what we want. Certainly Saturday was not one of them. I'm very happy with Coach Yost. The scheme that we're doing, I think, fits us. He is a pro. I think he's done this long enough that he understands how to implement it, how to coach it. And I'm very happy with the coaches and what we're doing there. We need to be a lot more consistent. They want to be. He'd be the first to tell you that. But in terms of what we're doing, I think we just need to do it better. But I like what we're doing.
When you consciously make a change to that style of offense, I assume you think you'll hopefully run more plays in the course of the season. What else is the advantage of it? Just keeping the defense off balance?
I think and I think your hopes of improving your run game, although we didn't do that Saturday. Everybody wants to judge that right on the last game. I get that. Is the scheme and the difference being the pace of the offense and those kind of things. Now, for that to be effective, you got to get a first down. You got to get moving. You got to get the chains moving. When the chains don't move, 4 out of the first 6 drives were 3 and outs. In the first half, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it matters what scheme you got going.
Defensively, I just want to ask you about a couple of their players. Wilson and Wingard have been around for a long time, played a lot of football for them. What makes them such impactful players?
They make plays. They're always around the ball. Wingard's played since he was a true freshman, and he's got a lot of range. Wilson, they arrive at the ball with a bad attitude. Those two guys are gritty. They're good players, and they fit in their scheme, and either they fit in their scheme or they scheme around them, one or the other. And it's probably a little bit of combination of both. But they're two excellent football players.
One of the big storylines before the season was that there's 6 returning quarterbacks, senior quarterbacks in the Mountain Division. How do you feel like the team fared against Nick Stevens, and how are you preparing for Josh Allen?
Yeah. Well, I think Nick won. Nick beat us. Nick played better than our quarterbacks did this week. And, how will we fare against Josh? We'll see. Josh is an excellent quarterback. I mean, the throw he made to win the Hawaii game is unbelievable. And he made some throws last year in Laramie against us that I don't think film does it justice when you see it live on the field right in front of you, how he's, I don't know if I'd call him a scrambler, but the guy can really move. I mean, he moves better than you think. He's athletic, and he throws it really well on the run. But I don't know if I'd call him a scrambler. And so you got to really stay in coverage with him. And then he's got the arm strength and the confidence to fit balls in small windows. I mean, some of the throws he made are just remarkable. And he's an excellent quarterback, different than Nick. Nick, I think, is a little bit more in the pocket and stays in there a little bit. Josh will move around, and they'll move him around and change his launch points a lot.
Obviously, Wyoming lost a couple of really good skill players, Gentry and Hill. How much do you think it just took maybe a little bit of time to find out who their new go-to playmakers were going to be?
Yeah, and that happens with most offenses. You lose those two guys when you're talking about Gentry and then Hill, the tailback, right? That's a lot of their offense out of there. And any offense that has to replace those two kind of guys is, it's going to take time for those guys to step in during training camp and during the beginning of a season. We're no different. We're no different, and they're no different. And those are two excellent players you brought up. But they've got good guys behind them. They've got talented guys behind them, and they're going to still do what they do. That's why I respect them. You see what they do on offense, and they just kind of reload, and that's what they're doing right now. And they're one of the teams to beat in this division. They're the defending champs right now.
He was like a 500-yard rusher last year.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. They don't look to the numbers don't show that at all now.
Well, yeah, I can't answer that for you. That's they're not running him as much, or maybe he's looking to throw it a little bit more. I don't have an answer for you on why the yards aren't more.
But to you, he looks better than last year?
I think he's really good. There's you're at the halfway point. They've played 5 games. Last year we got him later in the year. I think he's a better quarterback than he is. I'm sure he was last year. I haven't studied him completely. It's only Monday right now, but just the things he does physically, there's no drop off. The guy's going to be a first-round draft pick, guys. He's a first-rounder coming into Logan, and the last time we saw one like this, it was Mr. Carr at Fresno in the championship game, my first year as a head coach, and that guy's had a really good NFL career. I think Josh is a very similar quarterback.
You read the paper over there, and they're not. They say our offense isn't as good as we expected. It'll be better. He throws for 175 a game. I thought it would be 200 and something. Maybe it will be.
Well,
Do these numbers mean anything, do you think? Or?
I don't read the Laramie paper, so I'm not sure what they say. The numbers don't mean much to me. They're 3-2. They've played 2 good teams. They beat a Mountain West team, in overtime. And they're a confident team. They're the defending champs. The numbers really don't mean much to me. I don't think that doesn't change my opinion on Josh Allen or what they do on offense. Oh, I'm good.
Cache Valley kids on this team. A lot of those players are making significant contributions.
Yeah.
DJ was the Mountain West Special Team Player of the Week. Talk about that group of players and the impact they're making on this team.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat when you have all those players from Cache Valley, different high schools. Most of them are from Logan right now, but that kind of changes up sometimes over the years. But you have 11 guys that are Cache Valley players playing for their, not their home state, but their hometown team, Utah State. And I think almost all those guys I've heard say to a man, I dreamed of playing at Utah State. You know, I grew up wanting to play at Utah State. And, you know, for what it's worth, probably we don't have very many more on our team that grow up saying that. And that's okay. I mean, that's like a lot of college teams, but I think it's special. I hope the people in the Valley see that and know that that's a neat deal. Those guys give back to the community quite a bit in the off-season, the summer. They care about that logo, the Utah State logo, and representing Cache Valley and their families and their friends that come out and watch them play. That's a big deal. You know, it was neat. Our special spectator program, we had a kid from Logan High that was here this week, and to see them interact with him and take pictures with him after, I think that's a neat deal. And that's what Utah State has going for us that a lot of other schools don't, is the community involvement. It's a campus you know, I think the community is very involved with our campus. It's a college town. And so Utah State and Logan and Cache Valley are so intertwined. I just think it's a neat deal. And I hope our fans and our people see that and really embrace all our kids, but really especially those Cache Valley kids, because it's important for them that we win and that they play well and they represent Cache Valley, you know, out here at Utah State. And so for DJ Nelson, tremendous honor for him to be the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week. He earned it. He's very unselfish, team player, captain, leader on this team, and just gives everything he has every time he's out there. And I can't say enough about DJ and what we think about him.
Are all 11, well, let me ask this way, are most of these guys walk-ons, these 11?
You put me on the spot, I'd have to go through the whole list. I would say the vast majority of them are on scholarship right now.
I know.
Some of them may have started as walk-ons. Not all of them started as walk-ons, no. No, I know that for a fact. And they all didn't start as walk-ons. Some of them did.